welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking a little bit about all the games that are coming up in college football in week number 0, since that's only 2 weeks away. But today we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to give you my early season prediction for how many games they're going to win this year. Now, I know the other day I mentioned it. I talked about Jerry Jones being their coach, and what I meant by that was I know he's not their coach. But if you don't know this, years ago, about the only time the Cowboys have been relevant in the last 25 years was when Bill Parcells was their coach. But Bill Parcells was in the locker room one day before a game trying to talk to the players, and Jerry Jones came in there and tried to start talking to the players like he was a coach. And Bill Parcells told him he needed to get out of the locker room and go do general manager owner stuff and let him stick to the coach and giving the players a talk. Well, Jerry Jones didn't like that. So after the season, Bill Parcells was fired, and the Cowboys have not been any good since then. So I just wanted to tell you the backstory on that in case you did not know, and that's why I said Jerry Jones is their coach, because Bill Parcells was their coach, and Jerry Jones tried to walk in and give the players a speech like he knows what he's doing, and he has no idea how to coach a team. And that's why Jason Garrett lasted so long as their coach, because everybody called him a puppet man, because he did whatever Jerry Jones wanted. So that's the kind of coaches that Jerry Jones wants. He wants coaches that'll do whatever he says, and that's why the Cowboys are no good, and why the Cowboys won't be any good as long as Jerry Jones is running the team. Now, of course, we know they play in the same division as the Washington football team and the Eagles and the Giants, and none of those teams are really any good. So I still think the Cowboys will win their division. Now, they came out yesterday and said Dak Prescott is going for an MRI, which makes no sense to me if he's healthy. Why would you send a healthy guy off for an MRI? But they say it's precautionary just to make sure, but he's fine. But of course, Mike McCarthy is going into year number 2 as their coach. And last year, Prescott got hurt, but half the team got hurt as well. So we'll have to wait and see what this year has in store. I'm not as big on Dak Prescott as some people are. I feel about the opposite of everybody else as far as Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, because when Tony Romo was there were several years where their offensive line was terrible, their defense was bad, they had no running game, they had hardly any receivers worth a darn, but yet when they lost, it was all Romo's fault, even though a lot of times, a lot of years, he was by himself. Now, with Dak Prescott, they've got CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver. They've got Amari Cooper at wide receiver. They've got Ezekiel Elliott at running back. They've also got Tony Pollard at running back. They've got Michael Gallup as a wide receiver. And yet their offense it's pretty good, but it's not as good as it could be. And their defense last year was absolutely atrocious. But they've still got Micah Parsons and Leighton Vander Esch and DeMarcus Lawrence and Kelvin Joseph. And, of course, now their new defensive coordinator is former Falcons head coach Dan Quinn. Now, a lot of people didn't think Dan Quinn was a very good coach. I thought he was decent. But like I've mentioned before, pretty much everybody blames him for that big Super Bowl debacle a few years back. After that happened, Dan Quinn had no hope of ever making it again with the Falcons, because no matter what he did after that, he was going to get blamed for that loss, and it was his fault. He made a mistake, but it was a tremendous, horrendous mistake. Had the Falcons won that Super Bowl, he'd still be there. Or had they just gotten beat and just got beat, he'd still be there. But when you get a big lead like that and you blow it, yeah, it's on you. But he is, without a doubt, a good defensive coordinator. Their defense has to be better than it was last year. They all wanted to blame it on Mike Nolan. We'll find out whether or not it was him, because now Dan Quinn is there, and Dan Quinn's actually a really good defensive coordinator. He's just an average coach. But they open up the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and of course, that's a loss. But looking at their schedule, they play the Chargers in week 2, and I think that's very good for them, because I think if they played the Chargers later on in the season, I think it'd be a loss, because I think the Chargers are slowly trending in the right direction. But since the Cowboys play them early in the season, I'll give them a win there. I think they'll beat the Eagles. Their game against the Panthers could go either way, but I'll give them a win there. I say they beat the Giants. They'll beat the Vikings. They'll beat the Broncos. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll beat the Saints. And they'll beat the Washington football team one of the 2 times they play them. And I think they'll beat the Cardinals. So that gives them 10 wins. And 10-7 is not great, but it's not bad. The reason why I've got them going 10-7 is because their game against the Panthers and their game against the Falcons, I could see them winning either one or losing either one, just like I said in my Falcons video and the Panthers video. So I'll give them a win over the Panthers and a loss to the Falcons, but they could beat the Falcons and lose to the Panthers. Or they could beat both those teams and lose to the Cardinals, because the Cardinals game could go either way as well. But I'll give them a win over the Panthers. I've got them going 10-7, but 10-7 should still be good enough to win that division. They just got to figure out what's wrong with Ezekiel Elliott. It looked like he was going to be one of the best 5 running backs in football. But last year, they were more effective with Tony Pollard on the field than they were with Ezekiel Elliott. But all in all, I think they'll be fine. I still think they'll win that division. What say you? If you're a Cowboys fan or know someone who is, please feel free to tell them to leave their comments on what they think is going to happen in the 2021 Dallas Cowboys season. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Why do EMTs travel in sets of 2? It's so they are paramedics. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.